y'all, welcome to another video. I am Debbie with the Crafty Diamond. Today is my weekly WIP and Chat, and if you are not familiar with what a WIP and Chat is, that is a work in progress, and I'm going to be working on my diamond painting, and this is for Summer with the Masters. It is called The Moon by Alphonse Mucha, and when I finish the row that I'm working on now, I will be up to the halfway point. I don't think I'm going to get this finished by the end of July because of everything else that I had going on and not being home very much, but I'm going to work on this in August. I would like to get this finished by the end of August. That is kind of my goal. If I don't meet it, I'm okay with that too, but it would be really nice to have another finish and get out whatever you would like to work on, whether that is a diamond painting, cross stitch, it might be coloring, making cards, or just cleaning the house, or just doing nothing. However you'd like to do this is totally up to you. I am just glad to have you for some company for a little while I diamond paint and get caught up on things that have happened. I am using a pen today. It's a little mini pen. I've never used a mini before. I got this from an Abler's Outpost. I love my bling, so I had Edward put some bling on there, but look how small it is. So I think it will be really good for single placing. Not sure how I would like this for multi. And this kit does give a lot of room for multi placing. So I decided I'll just single place on the video, and then later on today I'm hoping to have some time to work on this, and whenever I do, then I will either change out my pen, or for multi-placing I will have another pen handy and I will go ahead and use that one for the multi. I'm using ABs now anyway, which those are Aurora Borealis. It just gives more of a shimmer or a shine to the canvas. Not sure how that shows up on camera, but let me show you in my tray. See how much shinier those are? And I really don't like to multi-place my ABs, but I usually will use a multi-placer for them, or I'll use a pretty placer, which looks like a crayon. But this is picking up just fine, so I haven't had any problems so far. I am using glue dots in my single placer. Multi-placers, I do like to use different kinds of wax, and I've been experimenting a little bit. So I've used weed wax, and I really do like it. And I thought about using that on this video as well, but decided I will do that one on my next video. So first of all, before we get started into my life update, what all I did this week, how is everybody doing? It's really important that I ask you guys as soon as possible, because I want to make sure I don't forget. For starters, I'm very interested in how everybody is doing. And how was your weekend? What have you been working on? Are you starting something new? Are you working on a WIP? And I have so many WIPs I could have decided on, but I want to now focus on this one. So I will work on this one for a little bit, and then in the evening I will probably change it up and work on something smaller, because we like to sit outside, and this would be a little bit too large to have to slip out to my patio and to work on this one. So I think that would be a little bit difficult to work on something this large, because it is a large canvas. It is a 40 by 100 centimeters, and I did purchase this from Diamond Painting Shoppe. And if you're interested in anything that Diamond Painting Shoppe has to offer, I do have a discount code, and that's underneath the description. This is not a sales pitch or anything like that. Just if you would like something from them, the discount code would save you a little bit of money. And if you're looking for just a new canvas, whether it is an old Masters or something else, They have some really nice canvases that just came in. And I did order one this week. I think it was a pre-order, so I'm not sure when it's going to come in, but I will have an unboxing eventually when that one does come in. Let's see, I will do my life update first, and then I will move into diamond painting, making sure everything looks good. Today is a hot one in Atlanta. We live outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and we've had a pretty nice summer, like in May and June, when normally it's really getting hot. And some days were kind of chilly, and then it started, warming up. But now summer has hit with a vengeance. It is going to be in the upper 90s this week, and we have a chance of rain towards the middle of the week, and then a 40% chance of rain on Saturday. Always seems like on the weekend is when we have more of a chance of bad weather, so we really can't get out very much. If it's nasty, you can't do anything outside, but it's too hot to work in the yard now anyway. And if we decide to work in the yard in the evenings, which is what we have been doing, we have to be careful because mosquitoes are now out with a vengeance as well. So we're having to do all the things and put all of the insect repellent on. We found some stuff that is pretty good, but it smells a little woodsy. It's not like an offensive smell. I don't like using that stuff, but I've tried essential oils, and essential oil has not been working for me. I am like a magnet for mosquitoes, and my daughter Paige is even worse. And they say that it is her blood type. Her blood type is different from mine, which is quite interesting, but it is. And with her blood type, she is just a magnet. She goes outside and they start swarming all over her. Doesn't matter what she has on, bug repellent wise. She doesn't have any type of lotion or anything like that, and they still just gravitate towards her. So she pretty much has been staying in for the most part, and it's so hot anyway. She does not do well in the heat. So when it's hot out and she's out for even a short period, she almost starts to hyperventilate. She gets really anxious when she gets hot. She has almost like an anxiety attack, and that's part, of her condition. So that's okay. But we know now, how to handle that. We know when to go out, when not to. So we just, work around what we have to work around. So anyway, it is definitely a hot one. We are missing our pool about now. My daughter's best friend has invited her to go swimming, and so she's going to meet her next week. She lives in a pool tennis community, and so they're going to go swimming next week at her house and even have a sleepover. I don't know about the sleepover because Paige has never had a sleepover at somebody else's house. She's had a sleepover at our house several times with the same girl, and then also another one spent the night twice. And she's okay with that if someone comes to her house, but I'm not sure if she would be okay. She's okay at her grandparents' house, at her dad's. She is okay, but that's family. But I'm sure she'd be okay there too. But they haven't made their final plans yet, so we will see. There's just one day that I told her that I can't take her over there, and she can make plans for any other day but that day. So they're talking, so hopefully she will have something to do. She absolutely loves to swim, and so is her best friend. I don't have to worry, and her mother will be there. I trust her mom, but Paige is an excellent swimmer. So that is something that I'm very thankful for. My dogs, if you can hear them, they're starting to bark. They just woke up from their morning nap. and they are ready to go out, and Paige is supposed to be going down there and taking them out. I hear her moving around upstairs. So hopefully if she doesn't, then I'm going to have to stop for just a minute, take them out, and then come back. I won't even leave the dogs out for very long because it's just too hot for them. They would stay out, then they would come in and they would be just so hot, it would take them forever to cool down. They have water outside, but I don't like for them to be out there very long because, you know, they don't know any better that they shouldn't be out. And my collie will stay out all day if we would let her. I don't want them to get overheated, especially my little one. She's older, and I have to treat her a little differently than the collie. And of course, my cat does not go outside. She is an indoor cat only. She is perfectly content to just look outside. She watches the birds from her little stoops that she has. I'm sure she does miss when we had a screened-in porch, and we're working on doing something about that. My husband has found a really nice cabana that we can use with our deck. So I think that we're going to do that. He's bought it, and now he's undecided if he wants to put it on the deck or if we're just going to put it outside by our basement door. And that way we can also enjoy the cabana in the fall, and we can have a fire pit out there. So that sounds nice too. We may end up doing that.
This past weekend, my best friend and I went to Scrapbook Expo, and it's not all about scrapbooking. They have really changed it. It is also card making, and they had a lot of stamps and different things that my best friend and I use to make our cards. And we have been to Scrapbook Expo for years now. And what we normally do, we've made it a tradition, is that even though we are about an hour away from the event, we go ahead and we book a hotel room, and you have to well in advance in order to get a room. And we stay there Friday and Saturday night, and then just go back and forth between the event and the hotel because we like to take our own food. So what we do is that we will take snacks and flavored water, and we will do that for lunch and then just snack throughout the day. And then we'll go over back to the hotel around 7-ish, and then we will heat up our dinner and we will eat and then go back over to the venue. The only downside with that is that they do charge for parking, and this year parking was really strange. Normally you get a ticket for the parking and then you go and pay on your way out. They have an automated attendant there, so you just go and you pay for your ticket to get out. Well, this time they had people standing there. They wouldn't take cash. It was credit card only. So now there's going to be a lot of little hits of $5 on the credit card. But we decided that wasn't the best thing. We like taking our own food just for the fact that we don't have to go out and fight the crowds to get something to eat. We already know what we're going to eat, and it just makes it a lot easier, and we are fine with heating up food in a microwave. So we took lasagna. My best friend made lasagna. I took salads, and then we just had our dinner at the hotel, and then we went back over to Expo, and we played the rest of the night. And they are open until 10. I think they're open until 11 on Friday night. We never stay that late, but they're open until 10 on Saturday, and we stayed close to the end on Saturday. But we did decide this year to take more classes than we normally do, and this was one of the best, if not the best, expo that we've been to. And I think there were several reasons, but the classes were really good. We took 2 classes actually 3 classes. We took 3 classes. We took 1 workshop, and then we took a card exchange or a card swap. The 3 classes were 3 that we've never taken before, but we really like the company. 2 of the classes were by the same company, and then the 3rd one was another one that we happened to just stumble across last year. It was almost time for Expo to close, and we were just walking around seeing if there's anything else we wanted to look at, and we found this really cool booth, and we bought just a few things to see if we liked it, and it was so much fun that we decided we wanted to take the class this year. So we did that, and that was a lot of fun. They gave us a lot of free things, and then we also, in one of the classes, we took a late class, and it was one of the last ones that ended, and they had some of their products. They brought them in from their booth, and they had them on sale just for us. And so we bought several things there because we were going to wait and go to their booth after the class. So now we have some new techniques. We can't wait to get started on those. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then we took a workshop, and the workshop was really cool because if you buy this blank journal, it's a journal book, and if you buy this blank journal, then you can use their paints, and you can use their sprays, their paint sprays, and you can just sit there and work on your album. You can go back and forth whenever you want to. And it wasn't really an album, it's a journal. And so we decided that we wanted to do that. We like to Bible journal, and the paper is really good quality. And at first glance, it looks like it's fabric, but it's not fabric. It's just a different kind of paper. And so we did that for a couple of hours, and we've got most of the background done on our journals, and we still have to work on that some more at home, but we have plenty of the paints. We have plenty of the sprays, not the same kind that they had, but they said that what we have also works. I wasn't going to buy any more sprays when I have plenty at home. So that's going to be a really fun project that I want to work on, and she does too. So we love how that came out. And that's one thing that I really like about Expo is that we go because we want to, have a good time and spend some, quality time together, because we live about an hour away, but still we have, so many things going on between, both of us, our family life and different things. And we can't just, meet each other a lot because we do live, an hour away. But we also go to learn, new techniques and just to see what's out there. And we just walk around Expo, look at the different vendors, and some we're obviously not interested in, so we don't go there. Like some of the scrapbook, because we both used to scrapbook and we don't anymore. We just devoted our time to cards and then also to our journals. But there were a lot of people there that were scrapbooking, and we pay for the crop, which basically it's now called a craft room. It used to be called a crop. It's a craft room now where you bring something to do. It can be anything, and you can work on that. You can leave your stuff while you go and shop, and nobody's ever bothered our stuff. There's also 2 other people that sit at the table with you, and we had some really good table mates both Friday and Saturday night, so that was a lot of fun, meeting new people, getting to know some of these people, and just seeing what others do. But I'll tell you, we were laughing so hard because some of these people that bring things in, they bring so much stuff in. It's like, how in the world do you plan on using all of this in just a couple of days? Now, they do have early bird, which is on Thursday, and they call that an all-weekender if you stay Thursday through Saturday, and we've never done that before. But we have talked about doing that next year. And so, we might. It just, depends. It'd be kind of nice to have an extra day just to do whatever. And we decided that, that may be something that we want to do. And if we do next year, then it'll just be an extra day. They don't have classes on that Thursday, but they have different special things that you can do. But some of these people bring in their wagons, and they're really thick material, and you can just load these wagons up with different things. And a lot of these people have these wagons, and they were full. I mean, you couldn't have gotten anything else in there. And this one lady that was sitting on another table across from us, she made 4 trips leaving and using one of these wagons. And these wagons hold a lot. And she made 4 full trips. And I thought, how in the world could she get all of this in her car? And a lot of these people had SUVs, and their SUVs were full. I mean, to the top full. And we took just a few things. We were able to make it in one trip. And we had things that we purchased. We had things that we made. And we still made it all in one trip. Even with 2 small coolers, we were able to make a 1 load trip. So that was really nice. And over the years, we have learned, what to take. We've downsized a lot on what to take. And we thought about it. We know what we're going to work on. And we don't plan on getting a lot done. So I did take one of my diamond paintings. I was almost finished with my Jaded Gem Shop. I thought that I was going to have it finished before I left, and I didn't. I had a couple of rows left, and so I took that one, and it was just so funny because I got more compliments, people walking by, looking at my diamond painting and asking me questions about it, asking how long that it had taken me. And they did have a Diamond Dots booth, and I didn't go in there. I was really good because I did not need any more diamond paintings, and I knew that if I went into that booth that I would come out with at least 1 diamond painting. And so I told my best friend, I said, I'm not going to go in there. And she said, well, if you want to, we can. She was, good about it. And I said, nope, I am not going to go in there because I know I'll come out with something. I do not need any more diamond paintings. I do want a Diamond Dots painting eventually, and that is on my list to purchase, but I just didn't want to get one there. I wanted to just wait and see, what I can find, and I just am not ready to buy another diamond painting. And besides that, I had already spent enough money on everything else that I was purchasing, or that I had purchased. I knew I was going to buy a couple more things, and I said, this is not for diamond painting purchases this time. This is going to be for my cards. And so that's what I did. And even on Saturday night, I was so good because on Saturday night, the owner of the Diamond Dots booth said that she was going to have a massive discount on some things that she didn't want to have to carry it back to wherever state that she came from. And so I didn't even go back there. I thought, nope, because I know I'm going to find something. And again, I was really good. I kept on diamond painting. So I didn't buy anything there, but I did spend quite a bit on my cards on different things that I did buy for that. So I'm not going to say that I'm on a no buy, but let's just say for the next couple of months, I am on a limited buy because between the retreat, and I spent a lot on the retreat and at the retreat, and then Expo, between going to the classes, because the classes are not cheap and they're not part of Expo. You have to pay for everything extra there. So between that, the hotel, and then all of my new goodies, I am on a limited buy. But with that said, I did pre-order a couple of kits, and those should be in sometime in August. I've also ordered a kit from Diamond Painting Shoppe, and I'm not sure when that one's going to come in, but all of that was done before I went to Expo. So I'm not going to really do anything. I don't need any more diamond paintings, and now I don't need anything else for my cards. I am good for a very long time. I did win a door prize, a very small door prize, but it was a door prize on the card swap, and I won a sticker paper, and then they had what they called the golden ticket, and Saturday's theme at Expo was Willy Wonka. So they had a golden ticket, and if you got there before, I think it was 8:30, then you received a golden ticket, and you could put it in a box, and you could decide what you wanted them to draw for. So they had boxes for every gift, or every win that you would like to look at. You had one ticket, you just stuck it in the box. And so my best friend and I wanted only one thing. We looked at it, and it was the class that we had taken that we really enjoyed, and we wanted that particular kit. So we both put in our ticket there, and we said, if we win, because neither one of us thought we were going to win. We didn't think that we had any chance. It was a draw, but we never win anything, except I win small stuff every now and then, and she hasn't won anything in a long time, since like 7th grade. So we went ahead, we put our tickets in, and then we went to look later on to see, and neither one of us won. No surprise there. We weren't expecting it. Well, then Saturday night, apparently the person that won the door prize, or their golden ticket one, they never showed up for the gift, for their win. And there were a couple of other ones that they had that didn't show up either. So they were going to do a redraw, and so we decided we were going to stay, and we usually stay close to the end on Saturday anyway to get as much as we can in on crafting before we go back to the hotel. And they called what they called a weekender ticket, and that was the ticket where the ones that stayed the entire weekend, they had gotten, their ticket was called for the prize that we both wanted. And they kept calling weekenders, and so we thought, yep, here's another weekender, and it was. Well, just so happens the person's ticket that was called had already left. And in order to win your prize, you have to be there. So we thought, well, here we go. And so then, and you guys know where this is coming from, we thought, well, we have no chance. And then they called another number, and they said Saturday, and that was us. And I looked at the ticket. The first two numbers were the same as ours. And then the third number, and I thought, no way, this is just cruel. It is cruel because we are so close, but we're so far away. And next thing I knew, they called out my best friend's number. So I started screaming before she did. And also our table mates knew what our numbers were because they were watching our numbers just for little piddly prizes while we went out to dinner. And they called her number, and I have never seen my best friend jump up so fast and walk so fast since I've known her. And I have known her for 20 years. And it was just so funny. I just could not believe she won. And she couldn't believe she won. She kept looking at her ticket. She looked at me and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's you. So she jumped up and went. And then when she came back, she's like, yeah, we agreed that we were going to split this. We didn't think we were going to win. And so our table mates were all excited when she was telling them that. And I'm like, I was just kidding. That you won it. That is yours. And it is, not mine. You take it. That you deserve this. And so she said, no, we're going to share. And I said, well, if you insist. And so when we went back to the room, she started going through everything and adding all of this up. It was worth about $200 on everything that we've gotten. So we had gotten the mother load of prizes this time. And so I told her, I said, go through and what you don't want, I'll take. But if you want it, then you just keep it. I can always borrow from you. Because we do that. If we have stamps that I have that she wants to borrow, she'll tell me, and then I will, whenever I meet her the next time, I will take it to her, and then we just swap back and forth. And I don't do that with just anybody on my stamps. So I do that with her. She does it with me. She's the same way. And we divided that up. She doesn't do Christmas cards, and so I do. So she gave me the Christmas ones, and so now I've got some ideas on what I want to do for my Christmas cards, but I could not believe that we won. So that just ended like the perfect weekend because we had so much fun with the classes. A lot of times the classes for us, because we know a lot of the techniques on card making. We've been making cards for so long. And sometimes classes are just like, oh, okay, we're just taking, a class just to see if there's anything different. We don't learn anything. But these classes were absolutely magical. We had so much fun with the classes. And I couldn't believe all the things that on one of the classes they gave us. I was really surprised. It was a lot. So now I'm ready to make some cards. I'm getting excited about that, but I'm really excited to work on my journal. And of course, on my channel, it is about diamond painting, and that's all that I've done on my channel because I don't want to make cards on my channel because I use a lot of ideas from other people, and I really didn't want to, create cards and have to think about what cards to create whenever I was thinking of a channel. And I thought, I love to diamond paint and I would rather have a diamond painting channel. But one of the reasons why I named my channel the Crafty Diamond was because if I decided that I wanted to add something besides diamond painting, if for instance diamond painting didn't work out for me, or whatever that case may be, then I could do something else because it's still crafty. But I am devoted to diamond painting. You're not going to see much else, or if anything, on my channel. I do talk about my card making, and I talk about my journaling and my memory keeping. But if you guys ever want to see anything, or you would like to see how I do either my journaling or just see some cards that I've made, or even my memory planning, I will be glad to show you on my channel. And I can even add a day. I will not take up the days that I normally have my diamond paintings, which will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then if I have anything additional for the week, I add on Sundays. But for the most part, it's just 4 times a week. So I can add a Wednesday to that, or even a Sunday if I don't have any diamond painting that I want to add. So just let me know if you're interested in anything, and I'll be glad to show you, or I'll be glad to answer any questions. Just you can include that underneath the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that under the comments, then you can always email me. And then also, thinking of comments, On my Facebook page for our group, I have included the 25 questions the tag questions that I have underneath my cross stitch conversion. So if you would like to answer any of those, feel free. I just included one posting, and I did that on the Facebook group. So if you'd like to answer any of those, feel free to go on to the group and answer. If you are not a member of the group, then you'll just need to request, and all you'll have to do with that will be to simply answer a couple of questions. It's diamond painting related. Questions aren't hard, but it does help to keep some of the unwanteds out. And unwanteds, I mean bots that just try to get in. They just try to scam people, that kind of thing. So that's why I have those questions out there. I still have some bounce sheets in here because this was one of those kits that still had some static. But definitely feel free to answer those questions if you would like. I thought about putting them underneath the community tab and decided not to, because that may take up too much space on the community tab if a lot of people wanted to answer. But on the Facebook group, they are out there. And if you have not had a chance to look at that video, I will put that at the top of the eye. I will also put a link underneath the description. And the tags were really fun. You're probably going to see the tags going around because creators will tag other creators for these tags. And so you'll probably see several that are answering them. And they're a lot of fun. They're really good. And it was really fun to be tagged by another creator. But I thought we could all just share and have a good time with the tags. I am slowly filling these in. I will definitely use a multi-placer when I work on this on my own. But sometimes when I am doing this on video, it just makes it easier for me to single place. But I definitely multi-place when I'm doing this by myself. That way I don't have to think about how many I'm picking up. I don't have to worry about if it's straight. And these drills are really good. Sometimes squares lately, in some kits that I've been working on, they are just super tight and they don't want to slide in very well. And these fit perfectly. There's no gapping on here. There's not any fighting it, trying to get these squares to go in. And they look really good. As far as diamond painting goes, I did complete my diamond painting from Jade. And that was so much fun to do. So you will see that one soon on the post review, and then I've got to kit down sometimes. I would like to have my Elizabeth Ward containers back to where I can use it for something else. So you'll see that soon. I am hoping to finish Lady Dragon from Lazy River. Hoping to get that finished by the end of the month. It may go into early August. I really hope not. It has been around for a long time. I'm finally getting to a section that actually has a little bit of color blocking, so it should go faster because that one had more confetti than my Josephine Wall kit. And it has just been really hard to spend as much time because it takes so long to do one section. But I'm hoping that I can get that finished by the end of July. And then I am still working on my Josephine Wall. I'm not spending as much time on that one as I would like to, but I'm working on this one. So this one's taking precedence over that one. So I'd like to get this one finished by the end of August, first part of September. I think I'm gonna say more now, first part of September, because I've been out so much in July that I haven't spent as much time on this one, but I'm getting closer to the halfway mark on the moon. So that one, and this one does go fast once I sit down to work on it, but it is so large that with it being this large, when we sit outside, it's not something that I can take outside with me. So I work on it during the day and on the weekends when I'm home, and then I take a smaller one out. And yesterday I did take my Lazy River one out, and I actually got quite a bit done. I have it sectioned off to where if I finish one section a day, then I will be finished by Monday. And I think I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can. It would be so nice to have 2 completions for the month, and especially one that has been in my WIPs for so long. I'm really hoping. And then I want to start on an Oraloa I've had for a little while, but I would like to work on my Oraloa, and that one's also a square. So once I finish another one, I need to get back to a round, I think, because if I start on the Oraloa, then I'm going to be working on all squares. So it'd be nice to have a round in there that I can work on rather quickly. And when I get tired of working on squares, I can just pick up a round and work on that for a little bit. So I think just having three WIPs that I am working on, and if I have other WIPs I put aside and then just bring those out as I finish one, I'm thinking that's going to help me to get some of the WIPs that I've had put up for a long time. I think it's going to help get those out of my stash, and then I can get down to just doing 3 WIPs, just having 3 WIPs, not having any that are just laying around, but having 3 that I currently work on. So we'll see. That's kind of the plan. But also, I am doing another event. I decided that I've been wanting to do the Cheryl Baker. I've been wanting to do one of her kits for a really long time, and I am going to participate in that one in August. And that, of course, is another big one. I have that one already kitted up and ready to go. That one is using my new credenza. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the credenza is going to work for me. I've played with it a little bit, and so far I really like it. I'm just a little concerned it's going to fall off my table. I need to see what I can put it on that will be next to my table so it doesn't take up so much room. But when I'm not using it, I do put it up on a counter, so that does help. So you will see that one in August, and then I'll work on something smaller. So I may have to what I may do is just focus on Cheryl Baker in August and September. And I may have to put this one up until then, because I really don't need several large ones that I'm working on, but we'll see. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. And I start back to work August the 14th. I mean, I've been working, but I have to go back into the office on campus starting on the 14th of August, and the fall is always so busy. So I know that I'm not going to have as much time to diamond paint as I have been over the past 2 months. And that's kind of a bummer, but I have to work, so it's a good thing I love my job. I'm going to call it good for today. I've gotten this section done, which actually is quite a bit. And I am still loving this one so far. It is a lot of blue. Almost all of it is blue. Hopefully I will be able to get another row done. So all I have to do is this little section here and finish this up, and this row will be finished. And then I'll be at the halfway mark. So hopefully I will be able to get some more done before next week. I will probably have this one in my WIP and chat next week. I'm not sure yet, but more than likely I will. And then after that, I'll probably just have the Cheryl Baker one. I may even start on Cheryl Baker next week. You know, who knows? We will just see how I feel whenever I get there, because I'm one of those diamond painters that I like to work on something that I'm in the mood to work on. And if I'm not in the mood to work on it, then it is not going to go well. I've found that out very quickly about myself, and I'm okay with that. I hope that you were able to get something done if you wanted to, and that you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.